Hello everyone and welcome back to another Rogue Company video. The shooting range is commonly looked over and definitely underutilized. So today we're going to go over exactly how to properly use the shooting range, and by the end of the video I can promise you'll be carrying your entire team to wins. But before we do start, be sure to subscribe for daily, informative, and awesome Rogue Company content, as well as follow my Twitter, and it's linked down below to get daily updates on myself, videos, and everything else. Now, let's begin. Now, obviously the shooting range doesn't have any directions, which leads many people to go in, shoot some people with a rogue they don't even use, and bounce out to go get pooped on. So I'm going to show you how to really spend your time within this mode smartly to help you with your accuracy with both beating people in the heads, hip firing, as well as cover movement and melees. So please note that I'm a console player, therefore I'm using a controller, but these tips will still apply to PC players that use mouse and keyboard. First things first, pick a rogue you do plan on using throughout your matches. Like I just stated before, you don't want to jump in there with a rogue you don't use or don't have, because it'll just be a waste of time. We're going to start off our shooting range endeavor with headshots, specifically headshot accuracy. Simply start at the closest range and begin to ADS and aim for the heads. Don't worry about doing anything fancy like rolling or shoulder swapping, just get the fundamentals down first. Once you felt as if you've gotten that specific range under wraps, just move on down the line and begin to shoot again. This obviously may be different depending on what weapon you're using, as SMG is going to have a harder time shooting the furthest target compared to a DMR, but do your best and get those shots to the head. Moving on is going to be hip firing. Honing your hip firing skills, especially with an SMG or pistol, is super useful, and personally I feel as if it's a fundamental skill everyone should know how to do at a basic level at the very least. To do this, simply jump over the barrier we were just shooting behind, move between them, firing from the hip, and once again, do not try to do any fancy rolls or shoulder swaps, because we're just simply working on our accuracy. It may be smart to also swap to your secondary weapon at some point and begin to use that, since game modes like Demolition require you to start off with it, so having some sort of idea of its recoil and where to shoot from the hip is a very smart idea. After this, you should begin to work on your movement, and this is where you can begin to do your rolls and shoulder swaps. Once again, simply jump over the barrier and begin. Focusing on being heavy with your movement, maybe even exaggerating it, is something I like to do. Obviously, in a match you may not be rolling every 4 seconds, but it is good to overdo it now instead of in games. Mixing it in with things we practice like hip firing and headshots may also be something you'd want to do as well. Now, if you do tend to use melee weapons in your matches, then this next warm-up is definitely for you. Jump on over the same barrier as before and just bounce between the targets and throw your melee weapon. Now, I personally suck at this, so obviously you doing it may look a lot better than me doing it, but you get the point. Rolling between these targets, hitting them at all sorts of the ranges, like maybe going from the furthest to the closest to one of the middle ones to back again to the closest, is really important. You don't want to just go in a stagnant manner going from 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. You might want to do 1 2 4 3 3 2 1 4. Like, you don't want to go back forth, and this goes for all of the other warm-ups. Rolling between them, hitting them at all sorts of different ranges, and getting the exact timing and accuracy down are all going to help you out when it comes to using them in these actual games. I tend to leave it at this personally and move on to my online matches after this, but if you feel as if you need a little more practice, move on to the other section of the shooting range where the moving targets are and repeat all of these steps. If you did enjoy the video or found it useful and plan on using these tips, let me know by leaving a like rating, commenting, and subscribing. Thank you for watching my video, and hopefully I'll be seeing you in the next one.